Welcome to Lee Does Stuff. This is what you will need for this project. Today we will be painting a big bank of windows as well as a couple doors, both inside and out. Notice there's damage to the frame and the door, especially at the bottom. We'll start by prepping the area by cleaning all the dirt and debris out of all the cracks and crevices. Notice another man's handiwork there. That's 120 grit sandpaper. There's a new piece as well as an old piece. I start with the new piece and I follow it with the old piece to really buff it out and create a nice smooth surface. On harder areas where there's exposed metal, to really clean up the edges, I use my 5-in-1 followed by some sandpaper. You notice that there is a pretty bad run in the door. No problem. Use your 5-in-1, put some pressure, and really clean up that run. I will follow that up with some sandpaper and really buff it out. If you have one of these blowers, I highly recommend them. They're very good to clean out the very fine dust and debris before you begin painting. You want to really protect the floor as well. Paint will get everywhere and tends to. So really mask the floor as well as putting droppers out the best you can. I'm getting my primer ready. As you can see, I'm only going to prime where you see the exposed metal at the bottom of the door and the frame there. I am only going to prime those areas. There's no need to prime a nice painted surface. Even if it's old, the new paint will go over it and it'll be fine. This yellow frog tape is a game changer. It stops any runs of paint, and if you did do a freshly painted surface, it will not ruin that freshly painted surface, which is huge. I'm going to be doing the inner workings of the door, and as you can see, we don't need to use tape. We're gonna use the brush and only the brush, and I'm just using the tip. I'm following that line. I'm fanning it out. I'm letting the brush do the work. I don't have a death grip on the brush. It's just a very light pressure. I set the brush and I'm letting the bristles fan out, and I just follow that line down. I'm using the frog tape by the bottom of that frame there. It'll prevent if any paint builds up, and I will pull up that frog tape and there will be nothing there. It'll be a clean line, and that's why I love to use it. And then I put some masking paper there, and then I'll put my dropper over that as well, and then I will have no problems getting paint anywhere. It'll be a nice clean surface. Here I'm applying the primer coat to the door. Now I did the inner workings of the door, and now I'm putting the primer coat on. I tend to always work in a clockwise motion because you will forget where you are at, especially with a big bank of windows and doors like these. If you have a system where you start clockwise and work your way around, then you will always remember where you're at and you'll never forget a painted surface. I'm getting ready for the top coat now. I'm using an acrylic product. I'm prepping the whiz here with some tape. It gets all the little fuzzies off. And now I'm pouring the product in the Purdy bucket. Use my 5-in-1 to clean out the other handyman's work. Using a Zachary Royal Slim paintbrush to do my top coat. I find for finishing work that these Zachary brushes are incredibly soft and they're like laser beams. You set them on a line and they will stay more consistent than any brush I've ever used. So what I'm doing here, just following the line, set my brush. I'm getting close to that glass, but as you can see, I'm not hitting that glass. Then I'll go the opposite direction, pull it. No tape is necessary, as you can see. Turn the brush around, use the fatter edge, fan it out. Start from the other corner, set your brush, fan it out, drag it very close to that line. You're right on that line, not touching the glass. Fan it out, spread out your product. Look at that. Nice. It's like glass. Nice and smooth. When you get to a door frame, these can be a little bit tricky till you get the hang of it. And I find that I like starting, I go to the right of the hinge, pull my brush down, and to do the top, I lay my brush flat. I use I don't use the pointy end to 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 do the hinge. I start from the top of the hinge and I use the fatter brush and I go in an upward motion. Take your time. You'll see it's a great way of going around those hinges. Now I'm ready to put my top coat on this part of the door, so I buff it out in between coats. Doing the top edge here, again, same as the side, same as the bottom. I'm finding that line and I'm setting my brush and just pulling it. I'm close to that glass, but I'm never hitting it. And if I do hit it, then I use this. This little gadget works great for getting any paint that you may have got on the window. And now I'm getting close to wrapping up the project. I've done my 2 coats. I did my primer coat on the doors and my 2 top coats. And now I'm just finishing it off with my little whiz roller here. I'm not using too much paint, not too much buildup, just a very little amount. And I'm going all around everywhere, front, forwards, backwards, up, down. And now the project is complete. You'll see all the damage is completely fixed. There's no more exposed metal. And that primer coat will be excellent protection for future hits or anything else that may happen. We're going to have a very happy customer on this project. Thank you for tuning in to Lee Does Stuff. I really hope you found this information helpful.